Hi everyone. So can you all please give me a quick information if you all can see my screen and hear me loud and clear as well? You can all use the questions tab to give me a quick information if you all can see my screen and hear me loud and clear as well. Perfect. Thank you for confirmation, everyone. So before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself to you all first. So my name is Neeraj Kedia, and I have been working in this IT industry for more than 13 years now, where I have been leading the global design and development teams for designing enterprise solutions for different industry verticals, including insurance, retail, banking, pharmaceutical, aviation, and location-based services. And mostly I have been active in the markets of India, US, Canada, Singapore, Australia, and other Southeast Asian markets so far. And in terms of the training front, I have been working as a corporate trainer as well since last 5 years, where I have been training the workforce of companies including Accenture, Mercedes, EY, Capgemini, Adobe, Credit Suisse, NIT, Grab, among others, in training them on different technologies, specifically in cloud computing, on AML, and big data engineering technologies. So that's in a nutshell of what I have been doing for more than 13 years now. So to be a masterclass community where we conduct more than 100 webinars on every month, and that too on different topics, we simply have called that schedule that has been planned for the month. So let me share this link with you all so you can also share this with your friends and family members. And we can also refer to edureka.co/webinars, where we can see the list of all the webinars that has been planned for next 4 days so that we can join accordingly. Let me show. So to get started, so report generation, how exactly we can use the report builder functionality in Power BI. Power BI, as you know, has been one of the main key platforms in helping us to create reports for different analysis. So if we have data coming from different sources, we can simply go ahead and start working on that by using Power BI. And in Power BI, we have the section for creating multiple page-related reports itself. For example, now, our main goal here is to since we have gathered for Power BI. So Power BI is what? Power BI is basically one of the most popular tools available out there. Like we have Tableau servers, we have same way we have Power BI. So it's basically a free platform. Now we have both the community edition available, and we also have the Power BI Pro license. So Power BI Pro Power BI Pro offers some advanced analysis and the sharing tools available. But if we are looking to create a simple, we can say a good report that we don't need to share with multiple team members, then we can do that by using a simple platform. All right. So it offers us multiple capabilities, like it offers us the aggregation, analyzing, visualizing. We can use it for sharing data set as well. So if you talk about Power BI paginated reports, now in terms of paginated reports here, now basically a paginated report is based on the RDL report technology in SQL Server reporting services. And again, it is formatted to fit well on a page. So we can connect Power BI to multiple data sources that we have Azure services, SQL Server, Oracle, Teradata, to any databases. We can connect it to multiple local files as well. We can connect it to multiple third-party applications as well. For example, we want to fetch data from Marketo, from Adobe Analytics, from Google Analytics, from social media platforms, from SAP HANA. So there are multiple sources available to which we can get connected to. And we have pinning reports, so we can simply pin report pages to visuals or to Power BI dashboards as well. And we can work with these limitations. Now there are few limitations that we have to take care of. That means now pinning report pages or visuals to Power BI dashboards is not available in the free version, and then there is no support for document maps as of now. And the sub reports and drill throughs are not available with the initial release, right? and shared data sources and shared data set also is having not that good implementation as of again in the initial release itself. And now if we talk about the report builder tool, so we have a report builder tool for authoring paginated reports. It's a design space for creating paginated reports that through which we can publish to Power BI service directly. All right. And now in terms of the report data, now this is basically the report data pane that we have where we are going to see the entire reports available in terms of in case we have multiple reports defined. And then inside the report data pane, next we have the actual area where we can start creating reports. It's just like PowerPoint. It's just like PowerPoint, and in PowerPoint we can define multiple report visuals, correct? Like we have the pagination available towards the left, and then we have the workspace available at the center, and all the properties for that particular element that we are going to select, they are available in the right pane. All right, we can see that, and that is currently available. All right, so and next on top, we have the section for the parameters pane. In case you want to pass multiple parameters, then we can define them on the top section. And then in the right sidebar, as we can see here, we have the reports section. Basically, here we can define all the report parameters, how exactly we can go ahead and make use of it. So whatever elements we are going to place here, that is going to be available here. So let me guide you on from where we can go ahead and download the Power BI Builder tool. So in case you are doing this for the first time, we can navigate to this link here. Let me share this link with you all to download the Power BI Builder tool. Here you go. So here we have to navigate to Power BI Report Builder, and from here we will be able to get the access. I've shared the link with you all over the chat window. And once we have the report builder tool available, we can simply run this up just like every other simple installer. Now, this is something offered separately as a part of Power BI Desktop as a report builder tool. So where we can simply fetch data from multiple sources and we can have the entire report created. Let it open up. So sometimes it may take a while. Let's wait for that to complete. Let it complete. Just a moment. Just a moment, everyone. Sometimes it takes a while. Just a moment. And here we can see the different data sources that we may have connected to. So basically here we can, now these are the samples available from starting from the execution time to user ID, which we can easily embed into the report. For example, here we want to simply find out the overall total pages here. Here we have the page name. And now here we can start customizing the layout. Now, if you want to insert any of the element, so here we have the insert tab. For example, let's say here we are going to insert any chart. We can do that manually, or we can use any of the chart wizard as well. For example, here we can choose chart wizard, but again, for that, we do need to have the active data source available, because again, without data source, we won't be able to insert any charts. But if you want to insert that manually, for example, here we are going to create a sales report for suppose 2019-20. So here we can add a simple report itself. And again, if you want to customize its property, then all the properties are generally available for customizing the way any report is going to look like. For example, here we have text properties. We can right click, and here we can define the alignment. We can define the font style. So if we right click on this one, this text property is going to be visible, where we can customize the font, the action, font as in we want to change the font style. We want to change the font size. We want to change the font styling in terms of being a bold. We can customize that, and that is going to be applicable here. And we can resize the element as and when we want. Then in case you want to insert some chart elements, for example, here we have the access to insert chart. Let it open up. Let's say here we want to insert chart, and here we can choose a chart, the type of visual that you want to create in terms of line or shape, or we have for bar graphs, for area charts, for range, for scatter plot, and for polar graphs as well, depending upon what kind of data source we have the access to. So for example, let's say here we want to enter a simple area chart. So here we can choose area chart. So an existing chart can also be converted into an area chart depending upon the requirement. We can define, now here we can run queries directly without importing the data set locally. We can run queries directly on the server, whether we have the data coming in from SQL Server or from Teradata, from Azure service, from Azure Analysis. We can choose a connection string. First of all, here we have to choose a data source. In case we don't have a data source connected yet, we can click on new, and we can choose a new data source from the available data sources available. And then we can define the connection string. So whatever the connection string is, and the credentials for this data source has to be defined under credentials. If we have a username password for authentication, we have to enter that here. And then we can get connected to the string that we may have defined. So in case we are using if we are going to get connected to any third-party data sources, we have to make sure that the access is given there. And then we can define the table. Now here we can define the query that to be performed on as a query, as a table, in case we want to run this on a specific table here, where we can define our own custom function we want. So here we have the built-in fields, so like we have execution time, language, and then we can define our own functions. Just like we have DAX functions in Power BI desktop, same way here we have DAX functions that we can quickly insert and we can get started with. And then same way here we can define the render format name. So these are the default format that we have already available. If you want this to be a part of the global page number, or suppose the execution time, so we can define only a single value for now as execution time. And then we can set this to OK. So the table name is going to be defined based on whatever we had defined. And then if you want to refresh the fields here, we want timeout in a given, we want to define timeout for the fields. That means that should simply clear the data after a given time period. Then that is what we can define here. So this is going to be the field part. And again, if you want to add and change query in the calculated fields, we can navigate to field section. We can click on add as a calculated or as a query field. As a calculated field here, we can define field name and the field source in case we are going to connect data from multiple sources. And then we can also add a query field as well in case you want to define a simple query with a key value structure. And then we have the options in terms of having a collation, in terms of the case sensitivity, and then in terms of the width sensitivity. And again, subtotals should be defined automatically. Auto is going to simply make sure in case we have enough tables available that it is going to automatically calculate the subtotal for the given rows. And then if you want to apply multiple filters based on data pointers, when here we can click on filters, add the expression, and whether we want this to be a part of text, boolean, datetime, integer, and the operator that you want to make use of, and the value. So these values are going to be applied on the current visual that we have, just like we have filters available in Power BI. And then we have parameters. So under parameter, we can define add and the parameter name and the value that is going to be added on top of the data source that we have the access to. So first of all, are we clear on the dataset property till this part? Please give me a quick information, everyone. And once we are done, we can simply go ahead and install this visual. This is going to be visible, and we can change the placement. We can add more and more number of visuals as and when required. Right now, we don't have the access to the data set, but again, in our next session, when we do have the access to a data source that we can show you as an example, which doesn't conflict with our compliances, then we'll be having one more session for which the update is going to be shared with you all. All right, so for the time being, let's say we wrap it for today's session, and let's be right back up in another session where we are going to see the continuation of Power BI report builder when we have the access to data set. So again, thank you so much for joining, guys, and have a